Welcome to In the Kitchen with Retreat, where we are making delicious toppings for your homemade pizzas. Okay, so we are working with shiitake mushrooms and baby bella mushrooms today. So clean them up nice and good, and then we'll slice them all. And I know it seems like a lot of mushrooms initially. I am using 1 pack of each, but once we bake them down, you'll see that they become pretty small. They shrink up quite a bit, and I love mushrooms, so we're using a lot of them. After you have all of your mushrooms sliced, we'll distribute them over 2 trays so that they have lots of space to bake. And we'll just be drizzling these mushrooms with some olive oil and then a few cracks of sea salt. And just give them a little toss around so the olive oil gets distributed well amongst all of the mushrooms. And if it looks like it needs another little splash of the oil, then go for it and give it another little drizzle. And now that we have our 2 trays ready, we'll slide these into the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. While the mushrooms are baking, we can begin to make our kale and pistachio pesto. So we're just going to chop this kale down into even smaller pieces. And because we're making a kale pesto, the kale is the majority ingredient. It's such a good way to sneak some so good for you dark leafy kale into your belly. So we'll chop all this up and put it into our blender. And then what's a pesto without basil in it? So I have some homegrown basil here that I'm just going to chop up roughly to add in for some flavor. And of course garlic, and again we'll just roughly chop this up since we're blending it anyways. For adding lemon juice to our pesto, I'll use a citrus press to extract the juice. As we add our lemon juice, we'll strain out any seeds that there might have been from the extraction, and then we'll add our olive oil. Next, we'll add sea salt and our pistachios. So it's time to blend all of these delicious ingredients into a pesto. And I love using the pistachios to add a little more protein and fat to the pesto. And I'm using a tamper to help push all the ingredients down towards the blade so everything gets well mixed. Okay, let's take a look at our pesto. So for the application of pesto on pizza, I like mine a little bit more textured, but if you did want it smoother, you could always add a little more olive oil or a little bit of water and blend it for longer. It is time to make our cashew cream sauce for our vegan fungi pizza. So we've got more lemon juice. I have cashews soaking a 1-to-1 ratio of water to cashews. Our soaked cashews are the base of our cream sauce, adding our lemon juice, some nutritional yeast for a cheesy flavor, olive oil, garlic, some sea salt, and cracked black pepper. And after blending on high, here is our luscious cashew cream sauce for our vegan pizza. These are our 2 par-baked gluten-free pizza crusts ready for their toppings, and I'm just going to brush them with some garlic and olive oil to start. Preparing our kale pesto pizza first, I'm going to spread a generous layer of the pesto onto the pizza crust right to the edges. And then I'll layer on a little bit of goat's cheese, some fresh sliced tomatoes, and then just a little sprinkle of goat cheese on top. And now for the vegan fungi pizza, we'll layer on some arugula first, and then I'll spoon on the cashew cream sauce pretty liberally. On top of that comes all of our baked mushrooms, every last one of them I am layering on and piling up onto this pizza crust. And the last option here, after we drizzle a little bit more of the cream sauce on top, is a olive tapenade with truffle, just an option. I'll top our fungi pizza with some fresh arugula and then some cracked black pepper on both, and we're ready to go. So we'll slice it up and sit down to eat.